Okay, so I bought a pair of these Tisas Commanders, and they're pretty much a clone of the Colt Combat Commander, but they're made by an outfit in Turkey and then imported by an American company in Knoxville called SDS Imports. Now, I bought a pair of them. I bought one in 45 ACP and one in 9mm around Christmas, and then the 9mm one I gave to my wife, and I like the darn thing so much that I had to get one myself. And for one, 9mm ammo is cheaper training ammunition, and now I get to train with the same exact platform as what I carry, which is a 1911 Kimber in 45, but cheaper training ammunition. So I got this thing, and this company, this is not the same gun as what I got before. As far as I can tell, everything about this Tisas is higher quality than the ones I got in December. The 9mm magazines before were Mekgars, and these ones are made in the Czech Republic, Czechoslovakian. They're called Checkmate. And so these are higher quality magazines, without a doubt. It appears that the Cerakote is higher quality. These ones, this is a, we'll demonstrate, this is a empty firearm, but these ones come with an aftermarket firing pin. I have no idea why. The extractor on these looks like higher quality, and so perhaps they were watching or listening to the reviews of their customers, because that was one of my gripes, was that the extractor was not properly functioning in all situations in the other 9mm. It came pretty dry, so I've taken it apart, cleaned it, greased it, and this is its virgin firing. Has never been fired in my hands, other than I assume it was fired once at the factory because the bore had a little bit of soot in it. So I shoot better with an arched mainspring housing, but some people want flat, and these are mil spec, and so it wouldn't take much to pop that pin and put a flat mainspring housing if that's what you're into. But what I'm into is, I do not like the modern wide beaver tails that come on most Commanders and 1911s. I prefer this mil-spec beaver tail, but I prefer this Rondell hammer because it's more snag-free. I just prefer it. The sights are actually a tiny bit better than the others. Nothing's different, but just the machining, everything's smoother, and so they're a little easier to see, a little more visible. And then I always put a dot of orange paint pen on mine if I can help it, if I could ever make anything focus. So I put a dot of orange paint pen on my front sight almost always. So we're going to get to it. I'm going to have an accuracy test at 15 yards because that's what we have here. And funny story, we cut the trees for this road, and now they've built the road. So I'm going to shoot at 15 yards for accuracy, and then I'm going to move it up to about 10, and I'm just going to, shoot some more rapid fire. And we're gonna mark a box in the dirt that I'm gonna stand in, and we're gonna watch the ejection pattern of the brass, and we'll go over it. So, onward. So the brass looks like it ejects pretty much back, which isn't exactly ideal. I didn't have any bounce off of my face, but I had a couple bounce off the top of my hat, which isn't a big deal to me, but it's really important to some folks. Like, as long as they aren't bouncing off of my eyeballs, I'm pretty happy. And as long as the gun isn't jamming, I'm pretty happy. As long as it throws the brass and doesn't get a bunch of stovepipes. So I had a couple shots miss the paper, which was me. I jumped it a few times, but here we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15, 16 out of 18. And it's pretty tight. Some of that's not me and some of it is me. I mean, we can put her together that that thing, it has a better trigger than the other two that I own, but it definitely has a little bit of mush. And so it's not just a super crisp break, and it'll probably break in more with time. But I would call that decent for a training handgun. And I just like to gather old bullets. No idea why. Done it since I was a kid. But that's pretty good. So we'll do some rapid fire from about 10 yards and see how fast I can put them on there, and see if that thing won't shoot rapidly. So it looks like it functions rapidly. We've got brass back and to the right and behind. So still not exactly, there's my box. So not exactly ideal. Not 100% hits. I mean, I was shooting as fast as I could and putting them on about a body-sized circle. So pretty much one last test, which is that I'm gonna set up a couple dirt clods and shoot at them from about 25 yards and, you know, test its as precise as I can be, its accuracy. And we'll call this thing, currently these things are selling for about $405. I bought this one, I think, for $415, and the price actually just went down. I think this company's about ready to make a name for theirself and like probably double their prices within the next, I don't know, 5 years or so, similarly to Rock Island when they first hit the American market. But I would say for $405 for a training pistol to, like I say, originally I bought my .45 caliber one to use as a training pistol so I don't wear out my aluminum kimber. So I would say for a training pistol that's made out of solid iron, I don't think it gets much better than $400 for a gun that goes bang. So, all right. I would say, although not particularly highly recommended in most circles, you could probably hunt rabbits with this thing. What do you think?
Yeah.
Okay, and next on the list here, I went ahead and shot this for some more groups, cleaned it, broke it in some more. I wasn't satisfied that first shooting of it. The trigger on it, I had changed my mind, was not as good as I would like. And for whatever reason, there's kind of a fit and finish issue here, that there's a little gap between the trigger and the frame there. Not a fan of that. I don't know why. Like, I don't think it should make any difference. But anyway, I took this gun all the way down to its bare frame, and I just went ahead and polished the hammer, the sear, the disconnecting lever or connecting lever, the trigger and all of its parts, the hammer spur down here, and I don't know what you call that, but it's the rod that engages the mainspring in here. It drives into the mainspring, and there's a little round, supposed to be a round ball end on it that's about mirror shiny, and it was not. It was, everything's Cerakoted, like really rough Cerakote. So I just took and polished it with a diamond stone that I sharpened my knives on, and then I built this here buffing wheel out of some denim. I super glued to a nail that I ground the head off of, and so I just basically laminated with super glue this denim and impregnated it with flits and polished the hell out of everything. And the trigger now is a pretty nice, let's see if I can get my something in front of this damn thing so that way. So now the trigger is a very nice, there's a little bit of take up, just as it should be in a government styled model. So you take it up and then clean snap. Now if you really hook your finger through and really gently take a squeeze, there's a little creep, but it's not near what it was. It's now, take it up, way better. And I was concerned that with this ramped barrel in here, I was somewhat concerned that it wasn't gonna want to eat my hollow point ammunition. So I just did a bunch of shooting with these hollow points. They're just 115 grain Hornady XTPs. I like to run them in a lot of stuff. I mean, as you can see, I think I've got some here, and some more there. So I really like the XTPs. I especially like the light ones because they seem to function a little better. And I mean, not function through the gun a little better, but function as a bullet is supposed to a little better. So anyway, I did some shooting with the XTPs. With some breaking in, the pistol has now shot some very, very pleasant groups, and I think a lot of it had to do with that trigger, that I was really jerking that trigger. And I think practice as a shooter will make me better. Big revelation there. But I was kind of expecting 45 recoil impulse. Like, this is my first 9mm I've ever personally owned. I've shot tons of them, and every time I shoot them, it's like, wow, that thing kicks like a 22, you know, those are nice. Maybe I'll get one someday. Well, now I've gotten one, and I like the damn thing so much. I think I've got some parts coming for it, and I think this is going to end up being my carry pistol. I mean, it's just, there's 10 rounds in the gun, you know, 9 in the magazine, 1 in the tube, 9 rounds in my spare magazine, and I did, you know, cycle and function checks. I put probably a couple boxes of hollow points through it, and they just cycle perfectly. So, and just so happens they're even more accurate than the target ammunition. So I'll get you guys picked up here, and you can check out some group action, which I've gotten to be thinking is about as good as I'll probably ever be. So this was slow fire, as slow as I could fire and fire accurately. And I mean, that's a group that, I mean, okay. Overall pistol group, less than 2 inches. So that's pretty goddamn good. I'll live with that. And I will say the XTPs shoot damn accurate, as expected. Now, this was a group as fast as I thought that I could get them inside of this square box. And so we've got 2, 4, 6, 8. What are we missing here? 2, 4, 6, 8. Oh, 9. Yeah. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna say there was only one off the paper in any of these. So, and then this was a target that I fired as rapidly as I could possibly fire with a magazine change. And let me think. This one is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. So that's as fast as I could fire 18 hits on a roughly smaller than torso size target. And I mean, we're talking as rapidly as I can pull the trigger, and the thing is just nuts on. And then similarly here, this was my second round of that. I made an adjustment, got a little better. So we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17, and 18's off the target. So actually this was my first one. The other was my second, because the one that I had a shot off the target was, you know, right down in there. And it was, I counted that as off the target. It was mostly off the target. But still, that's a belt buckle hit right there. I'm sorry, that's dead center, below the chest, on a, you know, a Sasquatch sized target. That's hitting him in his big old stupid trash can lid belt buckle. So I think that's gunfighter approved. So I think that'll do. So over and out.